everybody. Let's see. You have sound now. Good. Okay, great. Welcome, everybody. May 2nd, 2021, the 142nd week of Speaking of Zane. And let's see who we've got here already. Steve Shirley in the Omaha area. Ken Pesic. Ken is down. Ken and Janet sold their house. They're building a new house. And remind me, Ken, let's see, while their house is being built, I think it's true they're in Punta Gorda. But they're having a house built there. Congratulations, Ken. Good to have you in there. Matt Aaron's in there. Hey, Matt. Lori's in there just down the hallway saying goodnight to our little granddaughter who had to run out to the dock this evening, but she's okay. Let's see. Aunt Cindy's there. Hey, Aunt Cindy, over in Alabama. How are you? Good to have everybody in there for Speaking of Zane. All right, Matt says I'm loud and clear. That's good. I'm seeing a little drag in my video for some reason, but I had that last week as well. I may need to go through and clean out a few things, but hopefully you guys are seeing me okay. And my lips are matching my words. Something I've had trouble with my whole life, actually. Well, let's see what we got here. What do you guys think of last week's guest, Jane, my friend Jane down in Savannah? She's a good friend and is representing a good cause there, and Lori and I are planning to run down there for a day or two. Not sure which ones. I'd like to get down there for the flag placement, which would put us down there on the Tuesday, Wednesday, something like that. So we'll have to lock that in so I can plan accordingly. Let's see, let me take that off. Okay. And see who else we have in here. Jim Miller, my good friend, fellow airman up in the Omaha area. Andrew Fresquez, one of Zane's battle buddies. Yes, Lori reminds me we did have a second guest last week, and she was very good. She actually did a nice live report from my Warrior's place. That was a treat. She is home now, and we are back to the normal routine around here. Let's see. Katie's in there. Hey, Katie. All right, we got a good crowd here tonight. Ken says they are building in St. Cloud, which is just south of Orlando. And they're in Punta Gorda for the summer. So Punta Gorda's over, it's over on the Gulf Coast, right? Am I right with that, Ken? I think that's right. Matt says they had a good weekend. Their grandparents celebrated their 50th year in the same house. How about that? Which reminds me, Katie Aaron had a birthday this past week. Happy birthday, Katie. I hope Matt treated you well. Okay, yeah, I have a friend in Punta Gorda. That's why it kind of rang a bell for me. I have a friend, Andy, who lives over there in Punta Gorda, and I thought it was south of Fort Myers. All right, well, good to have everybody in here. Let's see, what do we got here? Well, we have some Memorial Day activities coming up in the month of May. We are in the month of May. How about that? May the 2nd. And still no word. I keep searching the various websites, and I don't see any indication about the plans for flag placement at the national cemeteries. I think by now they would have had something listed, but they don't. Either listed that they're not going to do anything, or listed that there's flag placement and a ceremony. And I don't see anything on any of the sites, but I'm checking them daily, so we'll know how to plan accordingly. We have another activity that I just became aware of. Oh, just a couple of days ago, I posted it in the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, and it should be very interesting. In fact, why don't I go ahead and show that real quick. I went to the I went to, what is it called? The National Cemetery website or something. Anyway, that's where I found this. There's an organization called Carry the Load, and they're doing these walks all across the country during the month of May, leading up to Memorial Day. And let's see, I want to find the right place here. There is it's likely that they will be in your neck of the woods. If I could find the events, there we go, events. So the Memorial Day events. Really interesting story about how this got started by a couple Navy SEALs. You can go here and read this yourself and get the background. But you can actually sign up to walk with them, or you can just sign up. They're going to be having walks and rallies in cities all across the country. And of course, well, they're not of course, but they're headquartered in Dallas, Texas, and they have a big thing on Memorial Day in Dallas. But if you look at the map here, they've got the relay that they're doing across all these national cemeteries, the march, and the rallies. And you can go to their website and you can look at the map, and you can see it's likely that they're somewhere near you guys. In fact, if I pull up the schedule, you can see that they start in Annapolis, go to Arlington. Let me make sure my cursor's in the right place here. And you can just see the dates here on where they're going to be all across the country. They've got it broken down by the East and the Midwest. They're going to be here at Georgia National Cemetery on May the 19th. So we'll have to plan our Savannah trip around that, so we can do the Savannah trip, and we can do this Carrying the Load walk at Georgia National on May the 19th. So no conflict there for us, so that's kind of cool. I did notice that they will be, let me see if there's any Florida, I don't remember if there's any Florida, Chattanooga, Alabama National, where my Uncle Mike is, Memphis, Little Rock. So they don't make it down to Florida, it looks like. But if you look in the Midwest, they've got Jefferson Barracks there, where Daryl is, in St. Louis, and Omaha National there, as well as Leavenworth. So you can see the Midwest. And then for the folks out west, a pretty big list there as well. Pretty neat thing there that I had never heard about. You won't see it on the national news, and I stumbled on it, and now I'm kind of excited to see what it's all about. So that'll be kind of fun to, if not participate in, at least see there at Georgia National Cemetery. There's Daryl. Hey, Daryl, we were just talking about this Carry the Load event, and I noticed they are coming through Jefferson Barracks, so that'll be, we'll look forward to your firsthand account of what you witnessed there when they come through on, what's the date? What is the date on Jefferson Barracks? Let's see, May 22nd. May 22nd for you, Daryl. Let's see, Lori says that, yeah, the Georgia National folks, they not going to make it public because of last year. Oh, well, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens there. All right, so that's kind of a cool little thing to participate in, and we're looking forward to that. All right, let's see, what do we got here? Let me move on to This Week in Military History before I talk about the hat of the week. Let me see. I can't believe I missed this last week, and be interested to know where everybody was when this event occurred. Put it in the chat there. But on April the 26th, April 26, 1986. So this was like within a day or so of the raid on Libya that we talked about, Operation El Dorado Canyon last week. Um, the Chernobyl accident occurred. Um, where were you at when the Chernobyl accident occurred? And has anybody seen the movie? Wow, I was blown away by the details of the movie. There was so much, of course, no surprise the Russians suppressed um, to the media. They didn't let out to the rest of the world. But what an incredible thing. We were on the southern sort of fringe of that cone of radiation, being in the UK, and no ill effects for us. But anyway, an incredible thing. Could have been much worse, I'm sure. I say that. It was very bad for those impacted, and for sure, that was April 26, 1986. Let's see. Let me look at the chat here. Yeah, we were keeping an eye on it because of the didn't know which way the winds were gonna, how far that the fallout was gonna be. But let's see. So on May the 1st, Daryl's here now. So May the 1st of 2018, Daryl's wife of many, many years passed away 3 years ago yesterday. So Daryl, our condolences. I know anniversaries are tough. I don't know why that is, but I think we're just hypersensitive on anniversary dates. And God bless you. And the very next day, May the 2nd, 2018, you guys may have heard about this in the news. Of course, I keep up with this kind of stuff for several reasons, but let's see if I can find the picture I was going to show you. And share, but a tragic plane crash occurred on May the 2nd of 2018 down in Savannah, Georgia, of course, where we used to live. And these are the airmen that were killed in the crash of a WC-130, Puerto Rican Air National Guard, and their call sign was Rican 68, I believe, and they were on their way from Puerto Rico to Davis-Monthan to take that airplane to the boneyard, actually, and it was going to be retired, and they took off out of Savannah on their way, and unfortunately lost an engine, and a series of events occurred as they normally do, a chain of events, and they crashed right there, not too far from the Savannah airport, and claimed 9 lives there. So rest in peace, Rican 68. And then let's see what else we had. Oh yeah, so just a few days ago, April 28th of 2021, April 28th of 2021, just a couple of days ago, we lost this man. Hello, Brenda Lusk. Good to have you in there. We're just going through this week in military history, and for some reason, here we go. My pictures are taking a while to paint, but just a couple days ago, we lost astronaut and retired Air Force Major General Michael Collins. Michael Collins passed at the age of 90. And you may recall he did 2 space flights. He did a Gemini flight, and then he did the Apollo 11 mission to the moon. He was the, he did not land on the moon. He was in the capsule, what do they call, command module, circling the moon. And he passed away just a few days ago at the age of 90. And that is why this is the hat of the week. I don't know if you can see my NASA hat is the hat of the week. It's kind of old and musty, actually. It's kind of a nasty old hat. I've had it for maybe a dozen years. No surprise, bought it down on the Space Coast at NASA. When we lived down there, we took a trip with the kids once to the Space Center and had a great time there. And then me and a bunch of my buddies down in Savannah, we would go down to, and I even took a couple of the kids down one time. I can't remember which ones, but not a bad drive from Savannah down to the Space Coast. And I think I've witnessed 5 shuttle launches from the Cape. Well, from Titusville, one actually on the Cape, officially on the NASA grounds. That was a treat. And then, of course, I've seen a couple nighttime launches out on the Tybee Pier in Savannah. You can see. But anyway, we enjoyed going down there. We would always take a bunch of radios and we would monitor all the communications on the weather plane and everything. It was kind of fun. But rest in peace there, Michael Collins, Major General, United States Air Force. All right, let's see. So that is the hat of the week. What do we got for Veteran Cemetery Challenge? We had a couple of visits, a few visits this week. Daryl, of course, visited Jefferson Barracks National Cemetery on the anniversary of Wanda's passing. And Daryl, I think you had some folks with you this time, didn't you? I can't remember. You had some family members go out there with you. I don't remember who you said went out there with you, but I'm glad that you had some company. I know you're generally out there by yourself, you and the deer. But Daryl visited, and then Jim Miller, our friend up in Omaha. Jim's some of Jim's normal route during the week takes him past Omaha National, and he swung in there again. Very easy to swing in. You can almost see Todd's headstone from the highway, but it's up on a hill. You can't quite see it, but it's that close. So glad you were able to swing by there again, Jim. And let's see. Lori had a great visit. Go to the Speaking of Zane Facebook group if you want to see some awesome pictures of Sarasota National Cemetery. That's, well, just north of where you're at now, Ken, but Sarasota is an incredible. Remember how I was talking about, I think it was last week, I was talking about how every veteran cemetery has something in common, but then they all have something so different because of the landscape and all that. Well, of course, you can imagine a Florida cemetery is a lot different from a Minnesota cemetery, just the landscape alone. But something about Sarasota, they've turned it into this incredible place with a lot of other interesting things there. I have visited twice because I used to go to Tampa every week until the Chinese virus hit. But and it's fairly close to a friend of mine, Nathan's house. But Sarasota National, great pictures Lori got out there. If you ever get a chance to visit, I would highly recommend it. It's a relatively new one. I don't remember if Lori saw, but it's less than 10 years old, something less than. It's a relatively new one. And you can tell when you get there. Very interesting place. And then I talked about the Carry the Load event. That's going to be an incredible event that's going to touch what it looked like, from that list, maybe, gosh, 100 or so national cemeteries, maybe even more than that, based on that list. But that'll be an exciting thing for those of us that have it stopped near us. And something else interesting I found that's related to national cemeteries when I was poking around. Let me see if I can find it for you here. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this or not. There's a website called Veterans Legacy Memorial. Veterans Legacy Memorial. in some places they refer to it as VLM. You can see here VLM, Veterans Legacy Memorial, and I stumbled on it and didn't think much of it. And I thought, and I read about what the purpose was and everything, and I did a search on Zane, and when I did, it'll come up here, and you'll see. Go down here. There's 2 Zane McDonald's. How about that? Wow, 2 Zane McDonald's. So here is a Veterans Legacy Memorial. So you go here, you have the crest of the branch of service. The normal stuff you would expect to see there. A little about their service, which era, branch, rank, and then it even has a picture of the headstone there that tells which cemetery. You can click on the cemetery, obviously, and go straight there. It tells you which section they're in, and then it even gives you an overhead view of where they're at, and he's right here on this front row in section 11, number 33. And then you can go down here and put in I didn't know about it. I put in I put his sort of a summary in there of him, but somebody has to look at it and approve it before it gets posted there. But anyway, that'll be VLM, Veterans Legacy Memorial, if you want to go look for your loved one there. A place that I did not know existed. How about that? You learn something new every single day. So with the visits that we had this week, we had 3, and we're at 403 visits. 403 visits to 130 different locations. That is pretty good. And let's see, on to the Think of That challenge. We had some good veteran interactions this week, and if you want to read the details of some of them, go to the Speaking of Zane Facebook group, and you'll see some great accounts of the interactions that people have had. And I tell you, what a great thing to capture that and have that to go back and look at. And thank you guys for doing that. Ken had thanked 2 retired Army veterans and just had a great sort of account of that, what it means to him. And Ken, thank you so much for your sentiments. And Daryl thanked a Navy Vietnam vet who was also a Purple Heart recipient. How about that? Daryl also thanked an Air Force vet this week. Here's a cool thing. This guy was a KC-135 boom operator. How about that? An interesting position on the tanker aircraft. You guys, most of you guys are military or military related, so you know what a KC-135 is. Basically, aerial refueling plane, right? So you fly the plane along. A plane comes behind you. You drop this little connection to put gas into their airplane. That's the simple civilian way to describe it. But the guy who was in control of that activity in the back bottom of the plane was called the boom operator, because it was a boom that he lowered and extended to connect with the other aircraft. So he was the boom operator. And in the KC-135, he would lay on his belly. And the old phrase that never gets old, and I'll say it till my dying day, he got paid, he made a living by laying on his belly and passing gas. Wow, what a great job. And I feel fortunate. The plane that many of us flew on, Steve and Amy and Jim and all my buddies that join us here, Daryl, the plane that we flew on was a tanker as well. We could pass gas and receive gas, and it was a treat to be able to go down into what they call the boom pod. And you could fit two people down there. Well, you could fit two laying down, and you could have a guy in the back sort of watching over. But any opportunity I had, I loved going down there and watching us transfer gas to fighters and other planes, and just a great time. I was able to do that a lot more at Mildenhall. We were a little looser out there and had more opportunity to do that there than we did at Offutt. At Offutt, we were flying operational mission every mission pretty much, and we did do a lot of aerial refueling, but we were on the receiving end. That's where everybody with the upset stomachs vomits, on the receiving end, because the tail is going up and down. But anyway, I enjoyed being in when we were in the UK and flying all over Europe, and being able to go down and in the boom pod, and it was just a great time. Of course, we couldn't have pictures and stuff back then. We couldn't have cameras and stuff. It was very rare. I don't have, we don't have a lot of, we have some pictures. Some of them were official, taken officially on a media flight or whatever. But, you know, the modern Air Force, those guys can take pictures all over the place. Of course, we had top secret on our plane, so you couldn't take pictures in there anyway. But anyway, it was a great time. That's an interesting community, that boom operator community. When a boom operator would come to our squadron to fly, he wound up having additional duties that he would do. Of course, he would, pass the gas, but we weren't in the primary business of passing gas, so he didn't get to do as much as if he were on a regular KC-135 refueling other planes every single day. We were flying, command post missions and stuff. But anyway, so they got. It was an interesting. I loved hanging out with all those guys, and we had a great time pulling alert with those guys, the likes of Mick Dreadful and others. Incredible career field there. Anyway, spent way more time on that than I had planned to. But let's see. So Daryl, okay, so Daryl, and then my buddy Lanny. I don't know if Lanny's on here today, over in Birmingham or Rainbow City, just north of Birmingham, closer to Gadsden actually. He thanked a Navy vet at the Birmingham VA this past week. He had a great account of that. Go to Speaking of Zane, you can read his account. I think it was a comment on Ken's posting maybe, but anyway, go read that about the guy who drove him in the golf cart from the parking space to the VA. A great account there. And then I had two encounters yesterday. I thanked an Air Force vet and a Marine Corps vet in the parking lot at the Kroger. How about that? Right there in the parking lot on my way in. So that was a total, I think, of 7 this week for us. So 7 people heard from somebody in this group. Thank you for serving. How about that? Good stuff. So we had 7. We are up to 789, creeping up to the 800 mark. Not too shabby. Lori Tank, is that the 3 from last week, Lori, or is that 3 new ones? I got you 3 last Sunday at Kelly's. Yeah, I got those counted last week, I believe. Unless you had more since then. Those are the ones I got from Kelly's. All right. Well, let's see. What do we got on organizations? Well, I mentioned that organization that's going to be doing the cemetery marches. That'll be fun. My buddy Ralph. Did I mention this last week? I can't remember. My buddy Ralph at Semper Fi Bar and Grill. They raised and presented $6,000 to the Cherokee County Homeless Veterans organization. I can't remember what they call themselves, but this guy, Jim Lindemeyer, the West Point grad, retired Army guy, that was his brainchild, and they do so much work with homeless veterans, and Ralph helps them out there at the Semper Fi Bar and Grill. $6,000. That's pretty hefty there. Way to go, Ralph. All right, July's coming up before you know it, and we are going to do the race. If you're listening, Aaron Bartle up there in Michigan, we are going to do the race. I'm going to sign up this week and build a team, and anybody's welcome I almost said run. Anybody's welcome to walk with us. If you happen to be spirited and young and you want to run, you can run, but that'll be fun. Let's see, what else do we have? I think that's it. I didn't find that we lost any troops this week in combat or in preparation for combat. I did see that we lost a Secret Service agent, um, and I don't know the circumstances of his death, but they were doing some training or something up at, um, gosh, was it the Bush compound up in Maine? I think it was. I have to go back and look, but Secret Service agent. I don't know the circumstances, but all right. Well, let's see. Anybody have anything else in the comments? By the way, if anybody has any ideas for guests that you would like, uh, if you know somebody that has something to say to us that would be interesting for the group, heck, let me know. Let's bring them in. I'd love to hear from anybody that's doing anything that's related to what we're all about, and that we might be more informed about. If you guys can think of anybody, or if you guys have anything, if you've got anything that you want to tell the group, um, we would love to hear from you. I'll bring you in as a guest, and some of you I may end up calling on anyway, because I know you have some things to tell, and you might be a little bit bashful. So, on the lookout. I may enlist some of you to be a guest for us on Speaking of Zane. But that is all I've got this week. I have got a busy month of May with all the Memorial Day stuff. I have a class of young skulls full of mush starting at my company. Actually, I've built a program to develop the next generation of consulting engineer at our company, and I've hired 7 young people from varying backgrounds, and we're officially starting the program. It's going to be a year-long program where they've got to spend almost every day with this guy. Um, and it starts June the 1st. But I've got I've got them staggered starts throughout the month of May, and I've got a lot of preparation to do in the month of May. Well, I've been preparing for 6 months now, but it's coming to a head. So I've got some last-minute things I have to get in place for these folks. One of them, one of the guys happens to be a Air Force veteran, which is kind of fun, and I'm excited about it. I tell you, it's one of the things that I've always sought out in every position that I've had is um, the ability to teach or instruct. I've always enjoyed that, or mentor, and I've always managed to make that part of my job in some way. And this is sort of the culmination of opportunity and interest. The company had a need for this, and they searched for the right person to build a program from scratch, and somehow they wound up with me based on some of the things I've done at the company for over the last 9 years. And it's probably the most exciting thing I've done since I've been here in 9 years, and probably the most exciting thing I've been involved in for work-wise for 20 years. And very excited to get these young folks on board and teach them some things and facilitate their development. It won't just be me, but facilitate their development in a structured program. So anyway, Lori says I won't have any free time. Well, that's not true. Sometimes you have to spend a little more time than usual to get things going, and then once you get things going, you get back in a normal routine. But anywho, that's the way it goes. And so anyway, that's kind of what I'm up to at work. There's Jonathan Peters, another battle buddy of Zane's. Hey man, how you doing? We're just wrapping it up here. Good to have you in there, though. I always enjoy it when Zane's buddies join us. I tell you, we feel a connection to you guys, whether you know it or not. We feel a connection to you guys because you were a friend of our son, and that's incredible bond connection. Anyway, well, thanks everybody for listening to me ramble for about the last 37 minutes and 12 seconds. But I enjoy it every Sunday night. And remember, this week, if you run across a veteran or service member, by gosh, just tell them thank you. You don't have to stop and find out their name or take a picture or any of that. Oftentimes, though, that can happen, and I enjoy that too. But tell them thanks. Tell them you appreciate them. If we don't do it, there's a good percentage of the population that's not gonna tell them. So might as well be us. And I'm up to the challenge if you are. But have a great week, everybody. I look forward to seeing everybody next Sunday, which will be Mother's Day. I think Lori and I are going to run down and see my mom for the day on Mother's Day, and we'll look forward to that. So we'll see all you mothers next Sunday night for Speaking of Zane.